As for Little Things Day 9, Smarter Prompt Rewrite with Mr. Gideon Sunday once again.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to today's webinar. We are especially honored to have here with us once again our speaker from day 7, Mr. Gideon Sunday, who previously taught us effective prompts. So please join me with our most welcoming emoji to give a warm welcome to Mr. Gideon.
Thank you very much, Priska. Thank you, my Gloria, for this opportunity. Today we are going to be discussing about mastering the art of prompt engineering, and our sub discussion for today is iterative prompt rewriting. We're able to establish some facts. Yes, last on Monday. We were able to establish some facts on Monday. And today, basically, I will just do a recap of what we were able to achieve on Monday, and just get us to understand more about the things we we talked about last time. So I would say that I'm welcome everyone here to the world of prompt engineering. So basically, in this presentation, we will be exploring how to craft effective prompts that yield precise and relevant results. And we will also be looking out to ensuring that there's effective prompting where we define prompting through multiple recyclings of revision to achieve a clear and alignment of desired outcome. Additionally, we would also uncover the 7 essential ingredients for effective prompts, of which we talked about that last time. And this presentation basically is designed to guide everyone that is listening to us through the process of redefining prompts iteratively and transforming vague requests into clear, specified, and result-oriented instruction. By mastering this technique, everyone who is listening to us here will significantly enhance the resources of quality response to AI. And at the end of this presentation, we believe that you will be skilled to create better prompts that maximize your accuracy and relevance to response, and thereby empowering you to enhance the full potentials of what the AI language, large language model is all about. So yes, let's proceed. Iterative prompt rewriting, just like we had talked about last week, is a step-by-step guide. Iterative prompt is basically rewriting a process and redefining the prompt. We talked about this last time. I'm trying to do a recap through multiple revisions for clarity and specificity and alignment with the desired outcome. So it is basically a basic prompt that involve analyzing the response and adding details and reparaphrasing to improve outcome. So iterative prompt rewriting, actually, its main goal is to create a well-defined prompt that is efficient for communication needs and optimally to enable the maximization of response accurately. So there are a few things we talked about, the step-by-step guide to ensuring that we have an iterative prompt rewriting. We talked about initialization of prompts in our first conversation, starting a basic prompt with outlining your goals and queries. We made an example where you just write words like on your chat, suggest a workout plan. That is just you initializing a prompt. Yes, you get an answer. But what if you move into the next step of after initializing your prompt? The next step is actually to redefine and review. So to analyze this in this stage, you analyze the response of and review the by adding additional details to paraphrase your for clarity's sake. Now, remember in the first initial prompt, we talked about suggest a workout plan. Now, when you're doing a review and redefining, there's something you need to add, which actually means that you need to do what is called redefine to suggest. Now, let's take, for instance, suggest a 30-minute beginner friendly home workout. focusing on strengths. You were able to, number one, to review the outputs that was given to you based on suggest a workout plan. Suggesting a workout plan, the AI prompts will just suggest anything for you as far as it's a workout. But in the review and redefine, you were able to this is inclusive in one of the things we talked about last week, 7 essential skills for effective prompting. You were able to add a timeline, add a product which happens to be beginner friendly, and making it realistic. You're tailoring it down to be specific now. That's where the review and refine comes in. So we move over to repeat and process. Now, continue redefining and adding additional details spontaneously to ensure that you have a desired outcome. That's you keep adding more details to this your content to ensure that you have more outcome. Before you type in that review, you had something in mind, you had something in there to achieve. So what do? You evaluate what has been given to you, check out the relevance. What do you need to adjust? What should be kept? What should be removed? What should be deleted? What does not have a reference point? You do your personal evaluation and then you adjust the content. That is basically the things you do. Let's move on, please. Those are the steps by steps guide to ensuring that your prompting are accurate. Initialization, review, and redefine. You initialize, review, and redefine, and then you do what we call evaluation. So the importance of this iteration is that it increases your accuracy, it gives you a redefinement, and then it enables accuracy. Like I've said before, it enables accuracy. It increases your promptness to reading. It also increases your ability to be able to understand the contextual difference of each of the feedbacks you get. So moving forward to the next slide, these are the 7 essential skills, just trying to do a recap so that you will get to follow up effectively. We talked about the length matters, like balancing conciseness and text. This is a very, very important aspect of writing. The length of your prompt directly impacts its clarity. Note this: the length of your prompt directly impacts the clarity of your feedback. Now, too short and too context and a text that is context too short and context is lacking. Too long and confusion arises. So, if your text is too short, there's something lacking. If it is too long, it's an issue of concern that causes confusion to the model. Now, if it is concise yet informative, it is ideal. If your content is concise and it is informative, then it is ideal. For a straightforward task, like you for a straightforward task, it is important that you have about 15 to 300 words, or sorry, 15 to 30 words, and then for a more detailed content, 50 words upward is appreciated. This ensures that your context is not overwhelming to the model, because once you put on a lot of content, your model becomes overwhelmed and he fetches information for you that at some point you're like, this is not what I'm looking for. So remember, too short, lacking context, and when it is too plenty, you're making the model to be confused. So what do you have to do with your length of words to be able to balance conciseness and the context? Remember, too short, you're lacking context. When the let your content be ideal. Don't make it too long so that you will not lose up the content of what is actually supposed to search for. Move over to the second 7 effective ways of 7 effective ingredients for your prompts. The number 2 here is specify the type of copy. This guides your response. This guides your response. Specifying the types of content you are requesting guides the response towards the desired format and style. Now, options including like blog, social media, caption, age, email marketing, age range, being specific to give the language model a more direction. This is very, very important. Now, you know he is fetching data, this model is fetching data from across the globe. So when you are specific about the type of content you are looking for, it gives a clear cut out direction. Let's take for instance you intend to go to Wangiba. Now there are so many routes to Wangiba. You could decide to from Plaza you pass through Oron Road, you get to Wangiba by water fountain. You could also decide, okay, from Plaza I will not use the roundabout at my apostolic church. I will have to come and use Oron Road traffic light, go into 4 lane before getting to one. Why all the stress? Why all the turning around? You have to be concise. You have to be specific. You have to tailor your content down to a particular audience, a particular um, group of people. That lead us to the third reasons why the third ingredients for effective prompts, which happens to be the product or services details. And when we're talking about the product or services details, it has very key features. Now, product details about a product, services, or a topic ensures the content align with the specific needs. Now, let's take, for instance, including features, uniqueness, the use cases, and the language model has a more direction. Now, when you're specified about the kind of details you want, the model has a direction. Let's take, for instance, when you are prompting a product, highlight its quality. Highlight, okay, you want to buy a camera, for instance. Now you need to highlight, okay, I need a camera quality, long-lasting battery, and a sleek design. Those are information that about the product that is unique. You need a camera, you need what kind of camera? Is it a Sonic camera or a Nikon? I think it's Nikon or Icon, something like that. There's a camera like that where if you're either using Canon, you're using Canon or Sonic, you can get a Sonic camera or Canon. Any of those cameras, you are specific about the product. Apart from being specific about the product, you're specific about the battery. You're also specific about the format, the way. It says sleek design, which also means you're not looking for a camera that is so bulky. You're looking for something that is simple and easy to carry by the bag. So you also in this service and product, there are three things you have to consider in the service and product. Number one, the future. This thing I want to get, this content I want to get, what are the futures I am looking at in the product and services? This is revolving around even inclusive in our content. What kind of futures are inclusive in these products or services I'm trying to get? Now, the benefits, the use cases, those are the three key important elements that you need to be able to pin down your your alignment of content to. This also take us to the next phase, which happens to be the next slide, which happens to talk about the target audience. Your audience resonating with the intended readers. Now, in this audience, we have age, we have interest, we have profession. Now, understanding your target audience will allow the content to resonate with the intended reader or user. Specifying age range, interest, profession, and other relevant demographics. This in itself ensures that the content is tailored down to a preference. And if you discover that the kind of words that would be used in this textual generation will be in alignment to the age range and the interest group you have um, you are making your research about. Let's take for instance you want to make a medical research and a research for the medical student, and then you are that research is uploaded, and then we have a lot of content that have so many of botanical names, so many of of biological related names, and you are bringing that kind of content to present to students who are studying theater arts, students who are studying linguistic. They may know much about since it has to do with language, but in that context, you are presenting a document to the wrong audience. and what you got as your feedback mechanisms is not accurate enough. So this also take us to the next level. This take us to the next level where we have the tone of voice. Now, in this tone of voice here, it is specific. It is specific in the sense that the tone of voice determines how the message should be perceived. It determines how the message should be perceived. It it can range from formal to professional, casual, conversational, and even playful. Remember that people react people react to what they hear. They give meaning to what you bring out. They give meaning to your content. So you just take, for instance, you put up a letter. People, once they read the letter, you hear something like, this is not formal, this is not official, this is not a report, it does not carry a report format. So the tone of your voice when trying to describe your prompting is very, very important. It shapes the perception of your content. If you are writing a playful stuff, some content that you may ask the model to generate to be playful may not actually be playful for you in the real sense. Yes, some may not be playful to you, but to the model, because it has been trained in that way, it may be playful to them. But when you talk about professionalism, when you talk about formal, when you talk about casual, I think the model is actually more impressive. They do more well in such scenarios. So professional, we move from playful level where we that has to do with the environment where you are tailoring it down to. Casual, maybe for blog, social media, or for a post, for anything you want to. Then professional has to do with corporate bodies and all of that. So your tone of voice shapes the perception of your content and your reader. This in itself takes us to the next level of the seventh ingredient for effective prompting: call to action. Now, call to action here simply means that what do you want to achieve at the end of this work? What do you want people to know? What do you want people to hear? What is it that you really, really want people to get to do at the end of this content? What do you want to achieve? Now, the call to action is directed to the reader, directed to the audience, with specific action of engagement with the content without the content lacking its purpose. Without the content lacking its purpose. Now, when you drop out something, it gives people that engaging ability that, oh, what they are still doing, they don't lack purpose in what they are doing. So let's take, for instance, at the end of this content, what do you want people to do? You want them to subscribe? Do you want them to share? Do you want them to visit your website? Do you want them to get to understand the impacts of the research you are actually carrying? Let's take, for instance, you are doing analysis about the population size in Nigeria. At the end of this research, what do you want people to come to a conclusion that, oh, at the end we were able to discover that, oh, that we have a large number of persons actually demographically residents in this particular location, and as such people should pay attention to people who are residents of this location. So that's a call to action, and it gives direct reader engagement. This in itself takes us to the next seven ingredients, which happens to be our final. It happens to be the key point, the backbone of an effective content, which actually means what you are putting out. These key points act as a backbone of the content, and it ensures the response covers all the necessary aspects. It ensures that the response covers all the necessary aspects by clearly outlining the point in the prompt to guide the response. So you will discover that this will result in a structured and complete output. Remember, it will result in a structured and complete output. Without clearly defining key points, you risk the language model missing key content. If your key point is not defined, then the model will miss up its content. So the things you have to consider in this key point, which happens to be the backbone of your content, is number one, relevance of content. Number two, accuracy. Number three has to do with completeness. Don't give it a half word. Don't give you things that are not complete. So in these key points actually means that what we have in them are relevant, they are accurate, and they are complete. Relevance, accuracy, and completeness. These in itself are the things that will give you a holistic prompting. Moving over to the next thing that happens to be where we would be moving on from today is common mistakes in prompt writing. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much for the reaction. Please let's keep that coming. Awesome. So yes, there are common mistakes in prompting. We do a lot of mistakes, and sometimes it's essential that we avoid some of these mistakes. Like we have talked about all of the things, the key, the initialization, the review and redefine, the evaluation and adjustment, all of that, and the 7 things we talked about. But then the mistakes people casually make. Number one, avoiding common mistakes is crucial for effective prompt engineering, and one frequent issue is vague languages in generic or irrelevant response. Like we have talked about being concise, we've talked about that. So why use a vague language? Why use languages that structurally they are not okay? We shouldn't be just so large. Another mistake we make in is overloading the prompt with too much details in one. It confuses the model. We have talked about that in the length of what. So you don't have to load your model with too much details. If you load it with too much details, it will go around and search in many split seconds the numbers of details, because definitely these models are making use of what we call keywords. They're making use of what we call keywords. They're making use of libraries, and they use algorithm to ensure that there is a proper mapping of these words to ensure that they fetch as much as possible as they can. So don't overload your text with too much. Let's learn to avoid that mistake. And then also, additionally, missing the target audience and all of and the tone. Sometimes we have talked about them, but let's just ensure that we don't miss the target audience, the tone we want our write up to be. It should be professional. It should be in the report standard for the reaction. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Example of poor and imported prompts and improved prompts. Example of poor and improved prompts. In this real world, there are various examples of poor and improved prompts. We have talked about that in our last slides, and that's one of the things we have talked about. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. So let's in all of what we have said, this is a clear example of of all what we were trying to say. Now let's take for instance, write a 300 words. The length of word is specified. I'll read through them all, then at the end I'll come and start explaining each of the lines, what they stand for. Write the 300 words product description for a Galaxy Pro X laptop. Highlight its lightweight design, long battery life, and high resolution display. Target Techie Spice professional age 25 to 40 and use a professional tone. End with a call to action encouraging readers to visit the website for more details. Combine these elements, ensure clarity and relevance, enhancing the quality of AI generated response. Combining all of these elements ensure clarity and relevance by ensuring the generated response we are going to get. Now, we have talked about the length of word, right? We have talked about the length of words, which happens to be 300 words, the age group, the tone, professional, and then the types of products. So moving over to the next slide. That's the next slide. The role of feedback in writing. Once you write the prompt, what you get back, please don't ignore it. Read it and ensure that you re-prompt again to get an accurate write-up. Moving on, don't dismiss the role of feedback. Let's go forward. How to test prompts effectively. There are different ways to test and know that, oh, this thing is accurate. Now try multiple versions. Try multiple attempts. Use different prompting tools. Try multiple attempts. Once you see a consistency in it, then you know that the prompt is effective. Compare the results and then keep redefining. That is how you will know that the prompt is effective. Try multiple times, compare the results, and then keep redefining. Then the last thing happens to be the assignment for the week. So last on Monday we gave an assignment. So please, for today, please drop the link. Priska, please drop the link for today's assignment on the group. So on Monday we gave an assignment and we asked people to rewrite a prompt of your choice 3 times and observe how the results improve. Share your findings with the following discussion. What changes did you make to the prompt? How did you respond? How did the response improve? What did you learn from the exercise? So for today, which happens to be the day 2 and the hallmark of the completion of iterative prompting, the assignment is in the sheets as provided in the slide. So this link will be provided in the group chat for every one of us to go through them. And I want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gideon. Thank you very much for this amazing presentation. So, um, we have come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you, Mr. Gideon, for this amazing presentation on mastering the art of prompt engineering. I learned a lot tonight, and I believe everyone got value from this webinar. So I want to also thank our host, Madam Gloria, for this amazing platform. God bless you real good. So, and to everyone who has been a part of this webinar, thank you so much. Like I said yesterday, without you guys, there won't be any webinar. Thank you very, very much. And good night. Do have a good night rest. Bye.